You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
This is Ginny Ehrhart with Southern Sisters Radio, and I'm your Southern Sister. In case you didn't know, you can check us out every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. And I'd love to hear from you. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com. Hi, y'all. This is Ginny Ehrhart, host of the Southern Sisters Radio Show, the show for Southern women and the men who adore us. Check me out on Saturdays at high noon, right here on AM 920 The Answer. I'm in Wenz world, and I love it.
Hey, baseball fans. I'm Casey Motter. Welcome to Wenz World.
RadioGriff, we're making progress with these Kihn insights and hot takes, my man.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of Twitter feedback and hate this last week.
That's what I heard. That's the word on the street, man. People are hating on the Wenz.
I don't get it, man.
He's like the nicest guy in town.
Thank you, at RadioGriff. I like to think the same about myself. I have my moments, but... So I tweeted at Kelsey Wingert. She's a sweetheart, right? Does some stuff for Fox Sports South.
Braves, basically like sideline reporter.
Yeah. Lots of good things to say. Never a negative word coming out of her mouth.
Right.
Which doesn't make her a great reporter. It just makes her kind of a homer. But
that's what their job is on that broadcast. They're kind of home. They're the hometown broadcast team.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
But you don't get that in other cities. In other cities like New York and Philly, you get real talk. They tell you suck.
No, that's right. Yeah. Atlanta is notorious for being homers.
Right.
We don't push our coaches or athletes or anything here.
So you're a diehard Braves fan.
Diehard. Season tickets. I have 1 million Braves hats. Been going games my whole life. Yeah.
So I want to know your opinion.
Yeah.
I tweeted at Kelsey Wingert. She was at the Braves store. basically saying, hey, look at all this cool merch. It's time to pick it up. They have sales and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I made the astute point and said only a real Braves fan would purchase this merchandise given how bad this team is this year. And you would not believe
You
the
said
hatred.
you tweeted her that.
I tweeted a reply to her tweet.
Yeah.
And you would not believe the hate that came out.
People hating on you?
Hating on me.
For saying that.
For saying that I'm hating on the Braves. I'm trolling the Braves. I had a fat dude wearing a Zorro mask come at me.
Oh, my goodness.
Braves ninja. But actually,
I know who that guy is.
Do you know who that guy is?
I know him. I know him via Twitter.
But I destroyed him. I destroyed him because I got to the point where I said, clearly, you don't want to have an honest conversation. And he liked my reply and didn't respond back. So clearly he was getting
You
beat.
won. Boom.
I did.
You made a really good point.
Thank you.
Only true fans, because they're not having a very good season, they haven't been very good for a few years, would want to spend money and rep Braves merchandise this season, right? I've done it. I'm a huge Braves fan. And I almost take pride in doing it during these down years.
Right.
Because it's not the hot, cool thing to do.
Sure.
I like buying the new Braves hat and wearing it around town because not other people aren't doing it. But, watching 2 years when all these young guys come up and they're incredible and they start winning the division again, you'll see Braves hats all around town. The clubhouse store will be packed. You won't be able to buy, you'll be waiting in line to buy stuff.
Right.
It'll be all the fair weather fans. And there's nothing worse. Man, we have so many fair weather fans here in Atlanta, especially.
Oh, yeah.
You see it all the time. You go to a playoff game or even an opening day game for the Braves. All of a sudden, 45,000 people there. It's a bunch of college kids mainly who don't even care. They're just there to hang out and drink some brewskis or whatever. And it really annoys me. Where are those people on Wednesday night against the Marlins? There's 10,000 people up there. I think you were making a compliment to Braves fans.
Yeah, I was.
Especially the real Braves fans.
Yeah, because it's easy to wear a Golden State Warrior hat or
I have
Dodger
one of those.
Hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Steph Curry.
Yeah.
I love Chase Utley. This is the thing that gets me, too, is I made the point that Kelsey Wingert had her cover photo of her in the Philly Fanatic for months. Does that trigger you? Does that make you want to take your Zorro mask off? And she's a class act, so I took her out of this reply because I know she wouldn't reply to you.
Oh my goodness!
I have a point.
No, she's. I won't get into it.
I'm just saying, if you are a real Braves fan, look at the tweet for what it's worth. It's not a slam on the Braves; it's a slam on fair weather fans, and it's a compliment to the true and true.
Yeah, me.
Like at RadioGriff.
Yeah.
But I will say I did make one friend after a heated debate.
You did?
This person named Panda J, so I got to give her credit.
Okay.
She's the one that roasted my radio show and said that a fake cat has more followers than my, in quote, SoundCloud radio show.
Oh, my goodness.
So, hey, you know what? Any PR is good PR in my mind. But with that said, I got a little bit of that off my chest. Woo. What's done is done. I love everybody, but come at me, bro. Come at me. All right, so let's take a spin on the old topic wheel while I'm waiting on Mayor Reed to block me. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But in the meantime,
that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole nother thing.
I'm ready to spin the wheel, though. Let's do it.
Taylor Swift new album, Madden 2018. McGregor versus Mayweather.
The fight this weekend. The big fight.
Saturday
it's finally
night.
happening. And apparently there's still 7,000 seats available. That's what I heard last count.
Correct.
People, because they're so expensive. I think that's the problem, right?
Yeah, I think one of the lowest prices is $1,700 for one ticket.
And it's probably the 400 section, probably. That's not a good ticket.
You're better off going to the bar and watching it.
Right. Yeah. Why wouldn't you watch it on TV? I don't understand. I'm kind of excited about it. I know I have plans Saturday night, but I do plan on finding an illegal stream somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Via Periscope or Reddit or somewhere and watching this fight, or at least it fascinates me because I would love to see McGregor destroy Floyd Mayweather. That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Well, it's just an interesting time because you got a master of one craft going against an undefeated master of another.
Right.
And, there's different schools of thought. Can a guy that's an MMA artist, as it were, defeat a pure boxer in Floyd Mayweather? And my answer is, we'll see. I mean, we're playing by boxing rules, so there's going to be no submissions,
right?
No headlocks or arm bars or anything like that. It's going to be straight up boxing. I'd love to see it go 12 rounds. And there are a lot of people that think this fight could go 12 rounds.
I think it could happen. I think McGregor could shock the world and pull this off. Because initially, and I haven't followed it super closely because I'm just not a fighting UFC boxing guy. Initially, everyone's like, oh, Mayweather will win 1 or 2 rounds at most. Now we're getting closer to the event. I'm starting to see people kind of change on that. People are like, oh, well, McGregor could win. It could happen, or it could go this many rounds and Mayweather still wins. So you're starting to see that flip. Because I think people are a little freaked out and realizing, right. Especially you watch these press conferences they've been doing. Dude, is there anyone better at talking trash than McGregor? The guy...
You can't even read, Floyd.
He's amazing. I would watch him just talking to a camera all day. He needs his own 30-minute TV show, and he just talks. I love it.
Yeah.
He insults people. It's incredible. And he's like a fun guy. He's got this energy, and he's into it, and he wants to do it. And I think he might do it. And if he does it, that might officially kill boxing in America. This might be the nail in the coffin for boxing, because boxing's already been kind of on the down.
Yeah.
And now if McGregor goes and beats boxing's best, it's over. UFC's reigns as king.
And you got to wonder, does Floyd Mayweather want a rematch more or to be 50-0 more?
It's a good question, too. Yeah. The traditional, 3 fights and see what happens,
Right. Best of 3?
Best of 3.
And some people are saying it's going to come down to a swollen eye or a cut on the face to end the match early. I think it's going to go 10 rounds.
10?
I do, and I think eventually McGregor knocks Mayweather out.
That would be my ideal. But I don't know. It also worries me. I could see what you said. Something happened, an injury or something happening, the fight gets called off, and it's really lame. That happens like 2 minutes into the fight. I could see that happening for sure.
And then $100 for your fight party down the tubes. Everybody leaves.
Right.
But there's a lot of leftover food. That's a good thing.
That's true. It does seem like this is one of those kind of events because it costs so much money. There's been so much hype. I think as Americans, we're almost conditioned that this could end up as a inevitable disappointment.
Yeah.
Like it's just
like
gonna
the eclipse.
Right. I'm with you on that too. The eclipse. Am I the only one who thought it was going to get darker outside here in Georgia?
It was not good.
They say 97% covered.
No, how is that possible?
The sun's so powerful. 3% of the sun still lights up the whole world.
Yes.
It was told to us that it's going to 97% covered. That makes us think it's going to get dark 97% because like Nashville and the cities north of us
in the path of totality.
I hope I never have to hear that word again. Totality. It really did get dark.
Yeah.
And they were planning on it get dark. I was like, well, if it's 97% here and 100% there, that's only a 3% difference.
Sure.
It's still going to get pretty dark here.
Yeah.
And then it never did.
No, it was like dusk.
It was dusk, exactly. It got cloudy for a minute, basically, and then, it's over.
I just wanted to see everybody turn to salt that looked up at the sky, and it didn't happen.
That didn't happen either. I looked right into it, and I'm still here. I can still see. Fake news. They're telling us don't look at the sun. I looked at the sun, and I can still see. It was only 3% of the sun, though.
Only 3% of the sun.
It can light up the world, but it can't blind you, apparently, when it's at 3%. Goodness gracious.
All right, you want to take a spin on the wheel? My arm's really sore.
I'll spin.
All right.
I'm doing it lefty.
Le'Veon Bell, not texting Ben Roethlisberger back. Gronk. Oh, speaking of Gronk and Tom Brady, let's get into this topic that landed on the game of Madden 2018. A storied franchise for all gamers out there has ruined many a marriage and caused numerous hours of sleep deprivation.
Yeah, I'm not a big Madden guy, honestly.
What?
No, I know of it. I have friends who are really into it. I know you're really into it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But I'm almost 30 years old. I'm an adult. So I don't play video games.
I just choked on my coffee. Hold on now. That's a hot take.
It's
We're not
hot.
to the hot takes yet. I mean, what do you mean video game? This is more than video games. You can simulate a Madden game to determine who are going to be the final participants in these here NFL playoffs.
It's always right?
I mean, it's not always right, but it's a good indication, especially.
So who do they have this year? If Mr.
I don't
Madden
think they've
video
officially done it yet because the game doesn't technically
does it even
drop
matter?
till midnight.
I
think it matters.
They just declare the Patriots the champions because that's what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, hey, Tom Brady's an overall 99.
That means something, huh?
It sure does. It sure does. Tom Brady an overall 99, and this just in. Via GMFB, Rob Gronkowski has officially adopted 100% the lifestyle of TB12.
And this will make him better in the video game.
This will make him not only better in the video game, but better at life. And I think that Tom Brady's new book that drops in September is the next best thing to the Bible. I really do believe that.
I am kind of excited about it.
I'm going to go to Barnes & Noble's and take pictures with my cell phone of every page and then just leave. It'll be like one of the homeless people that camps out in there and just sits in the window and reads books all day.
Yeah.
They're smarter than everybody I know just because they have nothing else to do.
That is smart.
All they do is read all day.
That's
brilliant.
That is brilliant. It really is when you think about it. Yeah. No, I'm excited about the book too. Like, Tom Brady is the greatest ever. He's 40 plus years old and still killing. He's the best quarterback in the league. He gets a 99 on Madden.
At 40 years old.
So if I can read that book and be half as good as him, I'm at least a 50 on Madden, right?
Even if you implement 50% of Tom Brady's everyday decisions, you will be 50% better at life.
And I'm all for that.
And you're already, I'd say, overall RadioGriff rating a high 96.
Oh, wow.
So I would give you, so there's some room, everybody has room for improvement, but you're already in the high mid-90s. So there's not much to improve on, but there could be a 99.
This is going to tell us how to be a better football player, better eater, eat better, work out better, sleep better, be a better husband, be a better dad. I mean, this guy, he obviously has it figured out.
The digestive tract is the second brain, they say.
I'm all ears, or all eyes to read this book. It's going to be exciting.
I plan on implementing everything except for the diet and the no booze. But everything else, I think I'm totally down for. I think it's a reasonable thing to go for. All right, one more spin. What say you?
Let's do it.
All right. Robert Lee, Asian man.
Oh no.
Booth. Fantasy football. Okay. Here we go. We talked about Kihn Insights, but this is going to be a hot take.
Hot take
here.
I've had a lot of those already.
And by the way, before we get to the fantasy football hot take segment, it came to my attention earlier that at RadioGriff was blocked by Atlanta Mayor Kihn Reed during Snowmageddon 2015.
Yeah, a few years ago during our snowpocalypse here in Atlanta, Georgia. I actually got blocked on my. I have a personal account which I don't publicize because it's personal, but you can still easily find it if you Google my name. But then I have I have my RadioGriff account out there as well. And RadioGriff isn't blocked, but my personal account is blocked because I went after Kihn Reed. Because during all that snow stuff, he's been kind of defensive on TV. He's a very thin-skinned man. Very defensive. I said something, hey, man, stop being so... It wasn't mean. It was just, hey, you're coming across very defensive, dude. Like, chill. And he blocked me for that. And he's notorious for blocking, especially media people. He blocks... If you say anything about him whatsoever, he'll block you.
Even if you call him a great guy, he's like, blocked.
Right. Because why am I not the best guy? Why am I just a great guy? Why am I not the best man in the world? That's how he thinks, man. So, yeah, he blocks people. So, you wanted to do a little experiment with that.
I did.
Because you're not blocked by him.
I am not, and up until a few moments ago, I didn't know I wasn't following him. Seems like I should have been following the mayor
you're
of our fine city.
You have a show in Atlanta. You should be following the mayor of it.
According to some, a failing radio show.
But a SoundCloud radio show.
In quotes, SoundCloud.
That still airs here on the radio. But,
it does, for the time being. I don't know how long that's going to last. All these FCC violations pending.
Hey.
I simply tweeted out, quote, "It would make my day if Kihn Reed would block me on Twitter. Please make it happen. Hashtag MAGA. Sincerely, at Wenz World Radio, at producer_Joey." So he hasn't done it yet. His last tweet was 1 hour ago. He might be on his lunch break.
He's probably driving around town in his his big SUV with all the security around that taxpayers pay for.
Sure.
They blow through red lights.
Absolutely.
So
hey,
he's probably busy doing that while eating lunch right now.
What else is being mayor good for if not to run red lights? I mean, come on, man. So here's the hot take there. Mayor Reed, please block me. It would make my week, and I mean that sincerely.
Maybe he'll come on the show. What if he says, I'm going to be the bigger man, and I'm going to retweet you, and I'm going to come on your radio show next week, your SoundCloud radio show.
You know what I'll do is I'll put him on the SoundCloud version. I won't put him on the on-air version for all my haters.
Don't tell him.
Yeah,
hey, Mayor, we're live right now. Trust me.
Hey, by the way, that F-bomb you just dropped, that went out over the air. Now, he's not running again, so what does he care? So the hot take, we landed on the hot take portion of the topic wheel. And mine is fantasy related. And this is going to tee off a lot of Falcons fans. Fantasy football.
Okay, not your deep, dark fantasies.
Well, no.
Okay.
By the way, have you seen that Snickers commercial?
I don't watch TV.
Okay. Oh, one of those. Okay. But anyway, so there's a Snickers commercial where this guy shows up. He knocks on the door at his friend's house. And he shows up as like a minotaur or something.
Yeah.
With his shirt off. And he's like half horse, half, person.
Centaur.
I get my Greek mythology
Phoenix.
confused. He's a griffin rising from the ashes. So anyway, he knocks on the door. His buddy answered. He's like, "Tom? Yeah. Oh, wrong fantasy night. And so it was a commercial for fantasy football. They have the draft board in the background.
I like it.
But anyway, I like where Snickers is going with that. That's pretty fun.
So your hot fantasy football take.
Sorry, I digress.
Hot
fantasy take for not only the SoundCloud show, but also the on-air show, in quotes.
Yeah.
Julio Jones is going to be more of a liability this year than anybody is thinking. If you are thinking about taking Julio Jones in the first round of your fantasy draft, think again, my friend. I'm doing you a solid. This is a favor, compliments of Wenz World Radio. Not only the SoundCloud version, but also the on-air version.
And he's going to be a liability because of his toe?
Because of his turf toe. A guy cannot run and do all of the pivoting and quick movement, agility-based performance that Julio Jones has been known for over the years for 16 games with that kind of toe.
And I have sources that say he's going to be playing on, Mercedes-Benz Field, the new turf. I heard it might be harder than the turf at the Georgia Dome. Uh-oh.
Yep. And
I just made that up, but hey, it could be true.
Hey, it's a hot take for a reason.
Yeah.
Not to mention the inevitable toe stubbing on his expensive bed frame.
Right.
Sometime in November, it's cold out.
That'll happen.
Yeah, got to get up to pee in the middle of the night.
He bends down to look for a missing earring. Stubs his toe.
By the way, did he ever find that?
A diver did.
Did they? Did they officially find another hot take here?
No one found it.
But that's
as far as I know.
I really think, man. I think Julio Jones, you should skip over him and let somebody else make that mistake. Don't believe everything that you saw.
Don't take wide receivers. Don't draft them.
Not this year, unless you're Antonio Brown.
That's the guy to draft instead of Julio.
I think you take Antonio Brown because
Danny Woodhead,
Julian Edelman.
There you go.
I think Alshon Jeffrey might be a decent. Maybe
the
not
Eagles.
First round.
The Eagles, right?
It just happenstance that he's a.
Did you hear about the Eagles story of this guy? It put it in his obituary. He wanted
to be let down by
the Eagles one more time. He wanted 8 Eagles players to be his pallbearers because he wanted to be let down one more time by the Eagles.
If I see one more NFL meme about the eclipse, that you have a better chance of experiencing this in your lifetime than an Eagles Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
Can you please get off the Eagles? Okay, please. This is ridiculous at this point. There are so many other teams that haven't even had the storied past of playoff appearances since the turn of the century as the Philadelphia Eagles, and yet they are the butt of every single football joke out there. And I'm freaking tired of it. I'm so
This might be the year, though. The NFC's wide open. They put some stuff together. They have some pieces.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They will lose to the New England Patriots 24-21 in this here Super Bowl 5-2.
Oh, talk about hot takes.
That is a hot take, but it's not super hot. You can hold it without a pot holder.
That's true.
I think it can happen. What's your hot take this week at Radio?
Well, everyone's all big on David Johnson. We're talking about fantasy football. David Johnson, the running back from the Cardinals, I believe. I barely know because the guy's name is David Johnson. It's the most milquetoast common name.
He's not a backup punter?
No, exactly. He's apparently the best running back in the league.
Well, not according to the paycheck, because according to the paycheck, Devontae Freeman is the best running back in the league.
Yeah, you want to talk about a bust? Watch this year.
Right.
Watch. Falcons not even making the playoffs.
Nope.
As heard here on Winter World about a month ago. I called it. But don't draft David Johnson because who knows who he is? His name's David Johnson. It's not like Zeke Elliott, Le'Veon Bell. Those are cool. Adrian Peterson's even an AP. He's got this cool nickname. David Johnson for the Cardinals.
I don't know that I agree.
On that alone, I don't care about stat. I care about his name. What if there's so many David Johnsons. You want to draft David Johnson. What if you draft the wrong David Johnson? What if you draft the David Johnson that works in accounting out in Phoenix somewhere?
But based off your logic, wouldn't that be the right David Johnson to draft?
It'd probably be better than the real David. Yeah, you're right. Touche.
I love it. Speaking of Le'Veon Bell, real quick, while we don't have any more time, but we're going to do it anyway. The fact that he's not texting Roethlisberger back, his quarterback. I mean, T.O. shed tears over his quarterback a few years ago.
That's true.
And you're not going to be man enough to text him back, well, I need my time apart. But you're on Twitter. You're already on social media. Why can't you open up your message app and send your quarterback, hey, man, I'm going to be there September 1st. Don't worry. I'm training. I know I'm not playing in the preseason, but I will be the back that I was last year. I just need time for my head.
So Le'Veon Bell is going to get traded to the Patriots for James White.
Well, the real MVP of Super Bowl 51.
Yeah, as people claimed,
14 receptions. But did he throw the ball to himself? I don't remember. Oh, no, that's right. Tom
Brady, the greatest ever.
The greatest ever.
Who's writing the Bible again or something.
He's rewriting. He's like,
rewriting.
He could rewrite the Book of Mormon and it would be more true than the Book of Mormon is. I'm sorry.
No comment. I have Mormon friends.
So what? But they know they're in a cult, right? All right. Well, on that note, now that faces are red and I got tomatoes thrown at me by some ninja.
Are you
with a
blocked
Zorro
yet by
mask.
Kasim, Mayor Reed?
I don't know. Let's look real quick. How many people?
Does he want to come on the show yet?
No, I don't think he wants to come on the SoundCloud failing radio
Only
show
if we were on air
here. I'm still holding strong.
Oh, that ain't gonna last, bro.
We're gonna check back on this next week with more hot takes and Keen insight. Follow the man on Twitter. He's got a lot to say.
I won't block you.
He will not block you, no matter what.
Unless you're mean to me.
Some fat ninja with a Zorro mask.
Unless your name's David Johnson.
Unless your name is David Johnson, the accountant for the Arizona Cardinals. On behalf of RadioGriff at Wenz World, adieu. More Wenz World coming up right after we pay the gas bill.
How the hell do they know that I got gas?
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls? Start saving thousands in interest and fees and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Hey, KLRN radio family, this is Ginny Ehrhart. Check out the Southern Sisters radio show every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. Connect with me on Facebook at Southern Sisters Home with Ginny Ehrhart. You can also catch our Facebook Live videos, unedited and uncensored. Connect with me personally. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com. Hey, y'all, this is Ginny Ehrhart with the Southern Sisters Radio Show. Catch us at southernsistershome.com. You can also connect with us on Facebook at Southern Sisters with Ginny Ehrhart. And catch the Southern Sisters Radio Show every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 10 a.m. right here on AM 920 The Answer. I'm in Wenz World, and I'm loving it.
Wenz World continues right after I finish this last set of squats.
Geez, look at the butt on that. Yeah, he must work out.
This is Ginny Ehrhart with Southern Sisters Radio, and I'm your Southern Sister. In case you didn't know, you can check us out every Saturday at noon on AM 920 The Answer. And I'd love to hear from you. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com. And y'all, this summer you're going to be hearing recipes that are so delicious and so easy, even the Wenz can make it.
You got that right.
I'm in Wenz World, and I'm loving it.
Man, it's always good to be in great company, and this week is no exception. We have rocker Greg Kihn on the line. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself, because when you were doing your thing, I was just a thought in my dad's horny brain. So
yeah, well, I'll tell you, man, this is the Greg Kihn Band is a heritage band. I mean, we have been together for a million years. I believe the first album came out in 1975. You know, this was before anything. It was before new wave and punk and power pop and everything. And nobody wanted us. You know, I had a deal on A&M Records. Earthquake had a deal on A&M Records. The Reuben News had no deal. Jonathan Richmond had a Warner Brothers deal for the Modern Lovers. But the four bands banded together and made Berserkly Records, and we threw all our money on the kitchen table, and we had enough to make actually one album, which was a sampler when everybody got like 2 or 3 cuts. And that was Berserkly Chartbusters, and that started the whole thing rolling. And as the years went by, obviously, we made a Greg Kihn album, and this is an interesting story because people say, how did all those Greg Kihn puns come into being, you know, with all the titles of the albums? And what happened was the first one was called Greg Kihn. And then they said, well, what do you want to call the second one? I said, how about Greg Kihn again? Okay. Yeah. And then they said, well, what about the third one? What are you going to call that one?
Next of Kihn.
I said, how about Next of Kihn? And then I thought to myself, oh, my God. At that point, I realized I had created a monster. And it's still going on to this day. I mean, the new one's called Rekindled, which as in I hope this rekindles my career. So Absolutely. It's kind of you know, and I was talking to my son recently about this, and I said, you know, Rye, I don't think we're ever going to ever run out of Kihn puns. I think it's just going to go on and on. When my mother was alive, bless her soul, she'd go to the supermarket and everybody would know her name, and she said, wow, why do they know my name? And I said, Mom, we've been branded. This is the Kihn family. From now on, we're the Kinns. And all of, you know, conspiracy, consolidation, God, I mean, there were so many, I can't even think of them right now, but there were so many, and it was an early form of branding, because now here we are all these years later, we're still doing it, and people, you know, they expect it. They kind of expect it, you know, from the Greg Kihn band.
I'm looking back on the history of everything that you've done, and you've been a part of some fantastic tours, touring with the Stones, with the Dead, with groups like Journey, man. Probably feels like just yesterday. How much of that influence do you bring with you into some of your newer stuff, like the album that's dropping this year?
Oh, you know, it really is. It's really there. That presence is really there. When we were on the road, particularly with Journey, because we were almost maybe over a year with them, and we were playing the biggest venues in the country, you know, places like Madison Square. When you're playing with the Stones or Grateful Dead, you know, you're playing soccer stadiums.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'd always been a club band. I'd always been playing for like 200 people down here at the Keystone in Berkeley. You know, we didn't really think about that. Suddenly we're playing in front of 20,000 people, and they're screaming and yelling, and we have a hit, so they're all cheering for our hit. You know, I mean, that was the last thing we expected. And when I came back from that tour, I remember I'd like to thank Steve Perry, the lead singer for Journey, because he blew out all of his interviews, and I wound up doing all of them, because they send in, invariably, we go into a city, they send in a film crew for this, you know, the 6 o'clock news. Journey's in town. And it's like, well, there's nobody here from Journey that you can talk to. Oh, well, who's still here from the sound check? Well, Greg Kihn's here. He's got a hit record. Let's talk to him. So I did about maybe 30 or 40 of these big time interviews, and it really helped make Jeopardy a big hit. And I every time I see Steve Perry, I thank him. Steve, thanks for rolling out those interviews, man. I needed that. So it was a lot of fun playing, and you know, I could tell you stories about every band.
I got time.
Oh, you know, like for instance, when we were working with the Grateful Dead, we played a place called Spartan Stadium in San Jose State University. Huge, you know, maybe 50,000 people there. Yeah. Huge venue. And we're playing, and we go, Bill Graham, this is in the days when Bill Graham was the impresario, and he put on these shows, and you know, he did something special at every show. And at this show, he had the backstage set up like a Moroccan tent a giant Moroccan tent with a big, with cushions on the floor and stuff that you could sit on and pillows and stuff, and a big giant hookah in the middle of the tent, just billowing huge amounts of hash smoke into the air.
Nice.
Unbelievable. So I go in there, and I'm just farting around, me and Mickey Hart, and Mickey says, hey, let's sit down with Jerry. Okay, so we sit down in a little circle with Jerry and Kreutzmann and a couple of the other guys. And I thought I could handle my drugs. I tell you, I got so ripped so quick on that hash. I mean, 15 minutes later, a guy comes in and he goes, "You're on 10 minutes, Mr. Kihn." I said, what do you mean? oh my God, this is a gig? I got to play? And it was the only time in my life where I was actually too whacked out to play.
What are the feelings that go through your mind? You're an artist, so the people that came to see you are very forgiving and understanding people. They're there to appreciate your art. So where did you find yourself as soon as you get on stage?
It's interesting because, we had a couple of hit records. We had Breakup Song and Jeopardy, a couple of, so we could go out there and, kind of, show off a little bit. And we did that. I remember walking out and thinking, oh, well, at least these other guys know what they're doing. At least they're doing it. So all I got to do is kind of act like I know what I'm doing, and we'll make it.
Right on.
So I get out there. I never get stage fright. I haven't gotten stage fright since I was 16 years old. I always walk out there feeling like a champ. So we walk out there, we do Jeopardy first. Nothing.
Wow.
Then we do Breakup Song. No response.
Wow.
My guitar player, he said, hey, let's just do Johnny Be Good for 20 minutes.
Nice.
So we started doing Johnny Be Good, and we got a standing ovation.
How about that?
Now, I go out there with prepared, great material that everybody knows and everybody loves, and it's a #1 record, no response. Then we start jamming Chuck Berry. 30 minutes later, we're getting a standing ovation. It was crazy. And I learned a big lesson. Sometimes the best laid plans of mice and men can be changed. My mother always said, after every Bill Graham, you go back and you talk to that, and you thank that nice Bill Graham for that gig. Okay, sure, Mom. So every gig after we finished our set, I'd go find Bill and I'd say, hey, thanks for the gig, Bill. Keep me in mind. What happened was the Stones tour started in the Forum in L.A., and there was 4 shows at the Forum, and the opening act was Prince before he was famous. And Prince stripped down to his G-string. He was dancing around the stage. So they got fired by the second night, they got fired off the tour because it was like, well, look, there's only room for one sex symbol here, and it's not you. And I got to tell you, Prince was way over the top, just crazy. And so they fired him, and Bill Graham knew, because he knew me, he knew that I was a big Stones fan. He called me up, and he goes, hey, could you be in Seattle tonight by 7 o'clock and open for the Stones? Wow. No, of course I could be there.
Yeah, right.
Yes, I'll be there.
Right.
God, are you kidding me? That's the gig of a lifetime. So we did a couple of gigs with him, and I always went out after the gig to find Bill and thank him for the gig. And he says, come with me. And I didn't know where he was taking me. He took me through layers and layers of security, deep into the bowels of the Superdome. And there we were in the inner sanctum with the Stones in their dressing room. Wow. And there I was sitting on a couch with Jerry Hall and Mick Jagger, across from Charlie Watts, and across the room from me, there's Ron and Keith. They're tuning their guitars. God, I was in heaven. And this was back when I was a smoker. In fact, all of the Stones smoked like chimneys. And so Mick Jagger's sitting right next to me smoking a cigarette. Now, this was what I smoked. So I said, hey, Mick, could I bum a cigarette from you? And he says, yeah, man, sure. Take the whole pack. So he gives me a whole pack of Marlboro. It's unbelievable. And I said to myself, can you handle a whole pack? He says, each guy in the band gets a carton of cigarettes at every gig. a carton. So here, take the whole pack. I've still got 19 other packs right here. So I took the sacred Mick Jagger cigarettes. I stuck them in my pocket, smoked a couple, went in, as I went back to my, eventually I had to go back to the band room. And my guys, of course, they knew that I'd been hanging with the Stones. They're like, oh, man, you got to meet the Stones. You didn't even bring us. What kind of a band leader are you? And I go, yeah, it's pretty bad. But I happen to have Mick Jagger's sacred cigarettes right here in my pocket. And I whipped out the pack of Marlboros, and they were like, ooh. And they all grabbed one, and they started smoking them like joints, like, oh, yeah. And so I remember I gave the pack of Marlboros to Gary Phillips, who was the Keith Richards in my group at that point. We went on tour with Journey again later that year, and he had a house sitter, and the guy came back, and he used to say, where's that pack of cigarettes that was on the mantle here? And he goes, oh, you mean that pack of Marlboros? I smoked them.
Oh.
He said, man, those are Mick Jagger cigarettes, you idiot. And he freaked out. But, hey, look, you live and learn. And it was a great story because after that, I would tell, I'd be sitting around and I had a lot of Bill Graham stories. And Bill Graham, he was just a great guy. He always, at least to me, he was never gruff to me. He was always pleasant, and we always joked around. And, we'd had a lot of experiences.
We're up against the clock, but so much more conversation next week. Part 2 of our chat with Greg Kihn tells us about the time that he got booed off the stage, bottles thrown at him as he opened for Black Sabbath. And another time he was touring in rural America and a drug-sniffing dog was at his side. Let's just say he had reasons to be nervous. More Wenz World coming up right after this.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Hey, KLRN radio family, this is Ginny Ehrhart. Check out the Southern Sisters radio show every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. Connect with me on Facebook at Southern Sisters Home with Ginny Ehrhart. You can also catch our Facebook Live videos, unedited and uncensored. Connect with me personally. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
Hi, this is Vinny Bucci, a.k.a. The Booch of the male soap opera moment. Make sure you check out the Boochcast Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Also, like the show on Facebook, where you can find archived episodes. I'm in Wenz World, and I love it.
I love me some good old-fashioned wrestling.
The Rock actually cares about this ongoing soap opera.
This is your male soap opera moment.
Booch, look out! We are post SummerSlam. Fireworks are flying, emotions are moving, and here we are, right back in Wenz World, live and local on The Answer, 9:20 every single Saturday, the very last segment of Wenz World, and we like to do it with our good friend Vincent K. Bucci.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They say you save the best for last, and the best is closing out Wenz World today on Wenz World today. Ladies and gentlemen, the male soap opera moment. We are back, and boy, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. And before we even get to SummerSlam, I know one thing I got to talk about real quick. I know Wenz had something he wanted to bring up earlier, but I found out something interesting on the drive over to the station today.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook, checking my messages like always, and I found out something interesting. Today, on at least from a Facebook standpoint, is the 1 year friend-versary of the Booch and the Wenz.
Really?
1 year ago, we friend requested each other on Facebook today.
It's fate.
Yes, I was amazed. I had to bring it up. Like, this is our friend-versary today.
And you know what else makes this day even more special, Booch?
What makes it even more special?
It is the birthday of one Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Ah, yes, the man who put it all together.
How fitting! Our 1 year friend-versary, the beginnings of the male soap opera moment, right here in Wenz World. The birthday of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Looking pretty good, I gotta say. For 72 years old, he'd pass in his 50s in my eyes.
Exactly, like the man, and that's what people find most intriguing. The fact that this man is in his 70s and he's still in incredible shape.
Yep.
He can still lift like a normal bodybuilder because he's got that bodybuilder physique. Most people don't know because he's wearing those power suits all the time.
Well, he's got grapefruits.
Exactly.
He needs to wear the big pants. You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's why. There's a reason why his dress pants are baggy. It's not because he's losing weight.
Yeah, he's not trying to hide anything either. He could let those things swing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think he's letting them hide a little bit because it's a PG show now. But because you notice in the Attitude Era he had tighter dress pants.
Yep.
So he's like, there's a reason they're baggy now.
Indeed. And we like to kick off Wenz World, and this time around after SummerSlam, I think there's a question that needs to be asked.
What does everybody want?
Everybody wants to see how SummerSlam predictions panned out, and I got to give credit where credit is due. The Booch retains again.
Yes, the prediction champion is still standing. SummerSlam was stellar for me. As far as the main card is concerned, I got every prediction right. Except for one. I won't tell you what it is. I'll let you guys know which one it is when we get to the matches.
Well, 5 titles changing hands at this SummerSlam.
Oh, dude.
Unprecedented. Now let's go by piece.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to start off with this one just because I opened up with it on my fight report a while back. I got to say, one of my favorite match of the night. The reuniting of Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins.
Wow, favorite match of the night, you said?
That was my favorite, yeah.
Holy
Dean
cow.
and Seth back together against Sheamus and Cesaro. And this is why it was my favorite match of the night. Because it was tag team wrestling. And what I mean by that is the teams operating like a tag team. That's what I loved. Seeing Ambrose and Rollins, who hadn't teamed together in 3 years, operating like a tag team. They're doing double team moves. Their chemistry is back on point. And not only that, they won with in a tag team way. Rollins hit that knee to set up the dirty deeds.
Yep.
Hit the 1, 2, 3. They won the tag team belts. And of course, my favorite part, Cesaro going after not only Cesaro going, taking the fight to Ambrose and Rollins,
right?
Tearing up the beach ball was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Cesaro flat out jumped the barricade.
And what do you think about the beach ball at a live event? I think it can be somewhat of a distraction. I understand the fun part of it, but at a wrestling match, it doesn't make as much sense. At a concert, totally.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And also, if you're going to do a beach ball, do it during the pre-show.
Or during a Hype Brothers match.
Exactly. Do it somewhere where people will actually want to pay attention to a match that's boring. Ambrose and Rollins, the team, this tag team title match is a lot of things. Boring ain't one of them.
I agree.
It's especially when it's Ambrose and Rollins getting back together and winning the Raw tag team titles. Like that, to me, was my favorite part of the night. Just because both teams did tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
Sheamus and Cesaro with the double Celtic cross.
Yeah.
Just every bit of tag team moves you can expect. Because that's the biggest problem with tag team wrestling is that some tag teams don't know how to be a tag team. Most of the time, you're seeing just 2 singles matches. And that makes sense when you got John Cena teaming up with Dolph Ziggler or something.
Sure.
That's when I expect it, when it's not a real tag team. But if you're going to be a real tag team, you got to fight like a team. There's got to be double team moves throughout the match until the ref tells you to get out of the ring when you're not the legal man. And that's what we saw in this match, and that's why I loved it, because they're bringing tag team wrestling back and they're making it more credible.
And there's something special about the reunification, 2/3 of the Shield. And the way that they dragged this out was perfect. They didn't give us what we wanted initially, right? I'm still waiting for them to give us what we want in Nia Jax, but that story comes later on. But I agree. I think this is one of the better matches of the night. Not the Wentz's personal favorite. Mine was the Universal Championship Fatal 4-Way. This match totally blew my mind. It started from the very beginning. Energy nonstop. Everybody gave their all. I'm getting a little bit of a weird look from the Bucci on this match, so that's okay. But in terms of a big guy match, man, I totally think this outlived any expectation of mediocrity and totally surprised me in a positive fashion. What say you, Bucci?
Well, the reason I'm giving a weird look is because this is one of the moments where I was right in who won, but I got to be man enough to admit when I was wrong. This match was amazing. I did not expect it.
Yeah.
I thought this match was going to be sloppy. I thought this match was going to be over the top. This match delivered. It was a great main event.
Yes.
It lived up to the hype. Braun Strowman especially, being the standout guy, literally taking out Brock Lesnar, and then at that awkward moment where you're thinking, oh crap, we're going to see a new Universal Champion, and then Lesnar somehow gets off the stretcher and back to the ring to F5 Roman for the pin, which was the only thing I had an issue with. I didn't like that Roman got pinned.
Well, this sets the stage for a potential match at Mania.
Okay, well, if that's what they're doing, then okay.
Right.
But if that's not the case, then I had a problem with it, because I was like, if this sets the stage for him and Roman at Mania, then I'm all for it. So in that case, if that's what you heard they're planning on doing, then I'll take that back.
But then at the same time, all signs are pointing towards Strowman and Lesnar at Mania, based off the events that we saw not only Sunday, but then the night to follow on Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
So one can only help to think that, are we going to see a triple threat match at Mania now? Because Braun Strowman is clearly up there in terms of competing with Lesnar for that gold.
Oh, definitely. That's why I felt that Joe should have took the pin, because I feel like Joe's now the odd man out of this whole entire thing. So I would have preferred Samoa Joe to get F5 by Lesnar and get the 1-2-3.
Unless they're going to use Samoa Joe to beef with Roman Reigns, which I could also see to clear the path for Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar.
Absolutely, yeah. So in that, and I say those are the regards, and I can see that happening. But that was just saying, my initial reaction when watching the pay-per-view was that. But I'm man enough to admit the Fatal 4-Way delivered, and it proved me wrong.
Catch the rest of this exclusively on demand, SoundCloud.com, up in the search bar, WENZ World. Till next week, adieu.
Farewell.
Hey, y'all, this is your Southern sister, Ginny Ehrhart, with the Southern Sisters Radio Show. I would love to connect with you on Facebook. Check us out at Southern Sisters with Ginny Ehrhart and online at southernsistershome.com. I'm in Wenz World, and I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is absolutely no better way to kick off Wenz World than with our Southern sister, Mrs. Ginny Ehrhart.
I'm starting to think you like to talk about food as much as I do, Joey.
I do, and you are the soul that I love to speak with about
you think
these
so?
things.
Yeah, just because I like to
Absolutely.
eat. You like to eat, I like to eat. This time of year, I like to eat tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is the time of year. I'm pulling out more tomatoes out of my garden than I can literally eat right now.
Whoa.
Nothing for 2 months, right? And then all of a sudden I get them all at once. So I've got some kind of fun and creative ways to use up those excess tomatoes. If you don't have extra ones, you're just picking them up at the farmer's market, the grocery store. This is the time of year for fresh, vine-ripened tomatoes.
Sounds like tomato heaven.
Well, I'm going to get tomato heaven is right. I'm going to give you some ideas on how to kind of incorporate these into your diet very, very simply. My biggest suggestion, and do it now, folks, do it now. Pull out 5 of your most ripest, biggest, fattest, reddest, juiciest tomatoes, and we're going to marinate them. Once we marinate them, we're going to be able to then incorporate them into so many different food items, so many different recipes. You're going to wash and slice the tomatoes, just put them into a large bowl, cover them, just drench them in a good quality olive oil, about a half a cup.
Okay.
Add a little kosher salt and pepper. Maybe throw a little garlic in there. There are no real rules here. You could throw in some chopped herbs if you have some extra basil or some oregano. But the main idea is you want to cover them in that olive oil, maybe even a splash of vinegar. Then just let the bowl, toss them together, let the bowl sit there on the countertop for maybe an hour or two. Okay, then you're ready to use them. Now, these will keep for several days, so you can put them in the refrigerator and pull them out when you need them. First thing I would do is I would take a baguette and cut it in half, and I would toss it right onto the grill until it's slightly charred. Then slice it up and just pile those tomatoes on each piece of bread. Just basically a homemade bruschetta with those delicious herbs and those juicy tomatoes. They've kind of probably softened up a little bit from being marinated. They're amazing. Nice. Another thing you can do is take those gorgeous marinated tomatoes and put them in a buttered baking dish. Then you're going to put a little sliced onion on top it with a little breadcrumbs, a little shredded cheese, bake it in the oven at maybe 350 for about 20 minutes until the cheese is bubbly. Heavenly. I would serve this next to a steak or maybe a roasted chicken. Insane. You know what else you can do? You can do some hot pasta and just put a big heaping pile of these marinated tomatoes right on top of your hot pasta. You don't need a traditional sauce. You can spoon these on top of pizza. I love to pick up that naan bread at the grocery store and make little homemade pizzas out of them, right? So you can put your marinated tomatoes over the naan bread, a little shredded cheese, pop it into the oven about 375 for about 12 minutes. Heavenly.
I feel like this is an interfaith sermon.
Right?
Leading to tomato heaven.
I get a little carried away.
No, I love it. Pass the offering plate. I'm about to donate.
You can also take these gorgeous marinated tomatoes, throw them in a blender, Joey, with a little extra vinegar, maybe a little rice vinegar, a squeeze of lime juice. Blend it all together, and you have got a summer chilled tomato gazpacho.
What? The soup, right?
Yeah,
the cold soup.
The cold soup. It's outstanding.
We took a trip to Tomato Heaven.
Yes.
And in case you missed Southern Sisters Radio, it kicks off Man Cave Afternoon every Saturday here on The Answer at noon.
That's right.
And this week, you had some interesting points.
I did. We had a little fun on the show this week. You've heard of Who Wore It Better? It's on those fashion magazines where two actresses will wear the same dress, and then they ask you, which one do you think wore it better?
Sure.
Well, we did this with music. We took some classic songs, and we looked at the original song. I'll give you an example. We looked at American Woman, which was originally done by the Guess Who, right?
Yeah.
And then we looked at the same song done by Lenny Kravitz later. And, I'm not going to tell you which one we preferred. Yeah, if you want to know, you're going to have to listen to the show. Now, you can listen to it, our Facebook video. Go to Southern Sisters with Ginny Ehrhart, and the video's right there. It's behind the scenes. It's the unedited, unscripted part of the show.
And one of the focal points of your show as well was phenomenal. And this is practical wisdom for everybody. How not to be a jerk on the road.
This is harder than you think.
I struggle with this, Jenny. I got to tell you, I struggle.
People think that only men struggle with it. Women do too. Oh, yeah. I had a little meltdown on the way to the studio this morning. Believe me, it can be tough, especially if you live in a busy metro Atlanta area.
Yeah.
It can be tough. No, I give some great tips on the show for how to be a courteous and efficient driver. Have you ever heard of the zipper merge?
No.
Okay, this is what everyone needs to do. When you're merging, you go to the merge point. You don't need to merge a half a mile before you're supposed to. The flow of traffic works better if you don't merge until the very end where you need to.
Right.
Okay? You go, I go. You go, I go. It's called the zipper. One car, everybody takes a turn. Most people don't do this.
This segment brought to you by YKK for all things zippers. But no, that's a really good point.
Right?
I'm always that last minute merger. I try not to cut anybody off, but I assume that people understand that if you're in the left lane, you drive a tad bit faster than those in the right lane.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, the rest of society does not see that. But you are espousing these truths on Southern Sisters.
Oh, they're true. And another thing is with the left lane. The left lane is the passing lane. If you are going faster than the traffic on the right, you are in the process of passing.
Yes.
You can stay in that left lane as long as you're passing the traffic on the right. If you're not, or you've got a friendly neighborhood car on your bumper, it means it's time for you to get over. Now.
And speaking of taking a road trip, now is the best time, gentlemen, to tell your lady friend about the Southern Sisters radio show, because Ginny gives a tidbit of awesome information about the best girlfriend getaway trips for this autumn.
You know, people always associate the summertime with vacations.
Right.
But let me tell you, the autumn is the best time to get away. Grab your favorite girlfriend, your BFF, right?
Yeah.
And head off. I've got about 7 or 8 great girlfriend getaway destinations that I talked about on the show today.
Yeah.
I mean, we have got some doozies and some great advice on where to go and what time of year is the best time to go. So that's what we talk about.
Absolutely. And guys, think about it like this. If your lady friend listens and then takes her girlfriends away for the weekend, that means a whole weekend of football for you and the guys. Beer and brats and heirloom tomatoes and gazpacho.
Oh.
You can't lose. It's a win-win.
You can't lose. There's something for everybody on the Southern Sisters radio show. That's for sure.
Of course, connect with Facebook, Southern Sisters.
With Ginny Ehrhart.
And online, Southern Sisters Home, right?
That's right. Southern Sisters Home. All of the recipes we talk about on the show, including these tomato recipes we talked about, Joey, are on the blog.
Always great to have you in One's World.
Thanks
Ginny.
for having me.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
This is Ginny Ehrhart with Southern Sisters Radio, and I'm your Southern Sister. In case you didn't know, you can check us out every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. And I'd love to hear from you. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.